Magandang umaga, magandang hapon o magandang gabi kung nasaan ka man ngayon. Ako si Jasper Dominic N and welcome to Kwentuhan About Life, kung saan pag-uusapan natin ang mga bagay na gusto mong pag-usapan. So, ngayon ay September 13, 2020. And this is the second episode of Kwentuhan About Life, and I just wanted to thank all of you guys na sumuporta sa unang episode where we talk about, the culture shocks in America bilang isang Filipino immigrant. So, after uploading that podcast, may mga taong gusto mag-guest sa podcast ko, which is very, I really appreciate it. Right now, bala ko munang i-expand itong podcast show na to in general bago tumanggap ng mga guest. Pero nasa listahan ko na kayo. And yeah, we can just talk about anything that you want. Right now, I've been thinking of, because they also suggested yung mga gusto mag-guest na we can talk about mental health, we can talk about adulting, yung mga ganong bagay. And I do like to talk about them with the guest. Except, gusto ko maging malinaw, I don't want to talk about politics because for me, I think politics is very subjective. Kasi whenever I think of politics, sumasakit ang ulo ko, stress or something, and ayaw kong maging ganun yung mood ng isang episode ng podcast ko if we talk about, politics. Unless the government, either the Filipino government or the American government or the world politics or something did something good for the people, then I think we can talk about that. Pero right now, iwasan muna natin yung mga yun. So again, it's September 13. Kahapon September 12. And September 12 is National Videogames Day, which is great. Nalaman ko lang to kanina. So papag-usapan natin ngayon ay mga video games in general. And I would like to share my story with video games, And right now, I have my computer. Dito ako naglalaro ng video games ko ngayon. Ang nilalaro ko, ng pinagkakabalan ko ngayon is Call of Duty Modern Warfare and Warzone. And sometimes I also play VR games like Pavlov VR, para siyang Counter-Strike na VR na pinaghalong Call of Duty, na may mga mods din or maps na pwede mong laruin na, it's third party. And there are also games na nilalaro ko gaya ng like pinaghalong 4X style na game and RTS gaya ng Total War games. Like itong recently lang yung bago na ng labas, Total War Troy, which is based on the, on the Helen of Troy, the Trojan War, si Achilles, nalimutan ko na ibang characters doon, pero you get the point. Pero I want to begin with my very first video game experience. And this was around the early 2000s. Guys, bago pa magkaroon ng video game console nung bata pa ako, I used to visit my cousin. And yung family niya, meron silang, parang during that time, yung family niya laging updated about the latest game consoles during that time, yung mga ganun. And they have the Nintendo 64 dati. While binibisita ko yung bahay nila, wala talaga, I didn't have the chance to play Nintendo 64 with them. But I did remember my dad buying the console from them para malaro ko. So basically, my first ever video game console is the Nintendo 64. And naalala ko pa yung nag-iisang laro doon na nilalaro ko everyday. Or maybe every Friday kasi I have like my own gaming schedule na sinet ng magulang ko, I need to focus on school and stuff. And I think it's every Friday or Saturday or Sunday I'm going to play Donkey Kong 64. And back then, gumagamit kami ng parang cartridge, yata tawag doon. Back then, wala pang disc, wala pang mga CD-ROM. Dati. Ang nagpa-uso ng CD-ROM ay yung PlayStation 1 sa pagkakaalam ko. Pero yung nga, I used to play Donkey Kong 64, and this was around kung saan wala pa yata yung memory card or memory sticks sa Nintendo 64. I can't remember. Hindi ko talaga maalala. Kasi the only memory that I have about memory cards is during the PS1 and the PS2 days. I'm not sure if Nintendo 64 has that. Or, pero yung nga, hindi ko masyadong maalala. But I did remember na every time I boot up the game, I always start with level 1, which means na I never save my progress. And yeah, it's just really fun playing that game. There's just so much nostalgia to it. Para siyang Ratchet and Clank. Ratchet and Clank ba tawag doon? Yung parang yung minigame sa Uncharted 4. Kasi before going to the PlayStation days, parang kapag inisip ko ng Donkey Kong 64, naalala ko lang yung Ratchet and Clank kasi parang ganun yung gameplay. It's like a platformer na 3D kung saan I think they got inspired from Mario 64 yata. Kasi, back then, bago pa yung Nintendo 64, bago pa yung 3D age, video games are 2D, right? And Super Mario Brothers was 2D. And then it shifted to 3D via Mario 64, kung hindi ako nagkakamali. Or I think it's Super Mario Galaxy or something, ganun. So, other video games copied Mario 64's ingredients. So we got 3D platformers like Mario's Donkey Kong 64 and Ratchet and Clank, and maybe we can also include the Grinch, the video game that was based from the movie by Jim Carrey. And yeah, I still remember my console. It's green, na transparent. You can see the stuff inside it, which was very cool back then. Also yung dati, yung mga transparent na consoles. I think phones also copied that style, and even controllers, mga ganon. And then that's my only memory about the Nintendo 64. I then switched to the PlayStation 1, which was also bought by my dad from my cousin then. Kasi I think they have 2 PlayStation 1s. And I have so many great memories with the PlayStation 1 console. Kasi I remember I remember my dad buying like copies of games for the PS1 na maramihan na. So there will be just a night where he will go home with a ton of PlayStation 1 video games, which I am very thankful for. I just, all this, ngayon ko lang na-realize na my dad was the reason why I play video games right now. Kasi dati, siya lang naman ang reason why we have a PlayStation in the first place. So, ang maalala kong games sa PS1, before we have a memory card, ang naalala ko is, the Grinch, which was based from the movie. We also have Mega Man, kung saan merong snow levels doon, and super baba pa ng draw distance. And then there's also this other game na Power Rangers Lightspeed Rescue, 2-player. Nilalaro ko with my mother back then and with my brother. My brother loves Power Ranger Lightspeed Rescue to the point na nagsawa ko doon na I decided to hide the CD itself para my brother can't play it. Para sa akin lang yung buong oras ko sa PlayStation 1. And then I eventually sold the copy. I sold the Power Ranger CD game to my other cousin, some other side. And I actually regretted it kasi that game was fun. It was really fun. Actually, I just recently replayed that Power Ranger game. I think it was last year using a PlayStation 1 emulator dito sa computer ko. And yeah, it's just very nostalgic. And it's just fun. I also remember buying games from Riverbanks. Kasi dati nakatira ako sa Marikina, Metro Manila. And there was this mall na tabi sa ilog called Riverbanks. They also have a shop called Neo 1, which sold copies of PlayStation 1 games. And naalala ko bumili ako ng my first Spider-Man video game, which is Spider-Man 2 Enter Electro. That game is really fun. I remember my first, kasi dun sa mga stall nila, before paying for the game, you can test it. Pwede mong i-testing kung gumagana yung laro. So I tested the game. I played it on that spot, and it was just an amazing experience, web swinging from building to building as Spider-Man. Kasi this was around the time after watching the first Spider-Man movie by Tobey Maguire with my uncle. And I think that was around Metro Manila Film Festival or something. So it was December, if I remember correctly. So I bought the game. I put it inside the drive, the PS1 drive, and man, again guys, this was around before I have a memory card. So every time I boot the game, every time I boot any games, it always starts with level 1. And I still had fun playing them. I didn't care if I lost my progress. I only cared about how fun it was. And it was simple times back then. Kasi ngayon, we play games to be competitive, to get stressed, to also have fun. Especially when you're playing it with your friends. We complain when the game lags, when we get hyping, when we get killed. But back then, there's something in the past na we just can't have with playing video games right now, because maybe we're grown up. And it's the idea and the concept of just plainly having fun for just simply playing a video game. And that's why I'm having a hard time playing video games right now, because I'm an adult, pero yung attention span ko ay mabilis na mawala. So whenever I play a new video game, let's say it's open world, I'll play it for like 30 minutes, and then if the game pattern, na-realize ko na yung game pattern, the game formula, it gets boring really fast. Pero back then, malaro ko lang yung single open world na game na yan. Kahit laruin ko yung for many, many years, hindi ako nabobored. So going back with Spider-Man, Enter Electro, naalala ko yun lagi. I remember, you start from the building, from the rooftops, and merong tutorial. And ang nagboboses doon ay I forgot the name of the actor, pero it's the guy from Evil Dead. Sorry, that was my headphone. It's the guy from Evil Dead. He's also the guy who cameoed on Spider-Man 1, 2, 3. Spider-Man 1 being the ring announcer. Spider-Man 2 being the... I forgot. Oh, I know. Spider-Man 2 siya yung parang usher sa play ni Mary Jane. And Spider-Man 3 was the... I think he was the... nalimutan ko na. Oh, I think siya yung parang bank guy or something. I can't remember. But yeah, that guy, kaya pala familiar siya nung bata ko. That guy voiced the tutorial person during the game. And there were also some tutorials na it was voiced by Stan Lee, if I remember correctly. So sorry guys, sobrang tagal na nito. And yeah, Spider-Man was fun. And then I remember I found out about memory cards. I'm not sure how I found out about them. Dati hindi pa uso yung internet sa amin noon, and I don't actually talk about video games with my classmates. But I think I found out about it dun sa mga parang yung sa mga PlayStation Hub, sa mga mall. Yung parang dating computer shop, pero hindi computers, pero puro mga PlayStation and Xboxes. And I saw this stick, like itong parang cartridge, and it's called memory card. And doon ko na-realize na you can save your progress through that. And then I remember telling my dad na pabili kang memory card pa. So he did. And then the first game that I ever beat was The Grinch. And The Grinch was also fun too. If naalala niyo yung The Grinch, if some of you guys played The Grinch, it's basically a game where you need to finish the to-do list in each map. And while doing the to-do list, you will also find blueprints. Kung saan you can collect all of those blueprints, play a mini game, connecting all of them in your home base or your home mountain cave or something. And then once you collected all of them, you can get like new gadgets, right? Kasi the Grinch is a smart person, according to the TV show na napanood ko. And then he invents these gadgets from these blueprints. I remember na there's like a gun. Yung bala noon are rotten eggs. So I remember the gun being called rotten egg launcher or something, where you just shoot people using rotten eggs. You know, kapag tinamaan sila, it's like an eggplant, pero kapag tinamaan sila, babaho sila. It smells like rotten egg, you know. And there's also the slime launcher, kung saan pwede mong i-slime yung mga batang nang babata ng snowball sa'yo, mga ganun-ganon. There was also the rotten egg launcher or jumper or something, kung saan pwede kang mag-jump in a tall height to get into places. Kasi in The Grinch parang din yun, platformer din yun eh. There was also this like a rotten egg submarine, a rotten egg copter, which was something that I wasn't able to unlock when I was a kid. Pero I remember wanting that copter, pero I don't know where to look for the blueprints. Kasi this was before the days of the internet sa bahay namin. So there's no walkthroughs of the game. There's no... Kasi back then yung walkthroughs is article form sa internet. Wala pang mga video walkthroughs dati. So there was no any kind of guides whenever I'm playing the game. But I beat the game anyways, without having to unlock every gadgets na available doon. And yeah, it's really fun. And then eventually I beat the game na yung Spider-Man, Enter Electro. And then yun lang yung mga there are also some other games na hindi ko masyado nalaro or hindi ko na-beat. Pero yung most played games ay yung Spider-Man, The Grinch, WWE SmackDown then, which was really, really fun. Na nilalaro ko dati with my uncle and with my brother. Naalala ko nag-aaway kami magkapatid when we're playing the game. We also bought another WWE game. Ay, back then ano pa yun? WWF pa yun. Pero yeah, we have 2 WWF video games. We also have NBA. And then we also have Tony Hawk's Pro Skater or something. Which just got re-released again, yung remake. Itong week lang yata. And yeah, fun times. Kaya tuwing Pasko, I, along with my cousin, kasi whenever we have family reunions sa Pasko, we always go to Bulacan, where my grandma lives. And my cousin and I bring our own PlayStations para maglaro kami doon with my other cousins, because there's like maybe 10 of us na magpinsan, and we just play video games on my uncle's home, which is a few minutes away from my lola's home. And yeah, good times, really good times. And then habang tumagal na, meron kaming cable dati. There was this cable na I think Jack TV ba yun? Kasi Jack TV pinapalabas yung wrestling eh. Pero Jack TV also had like G4 TV yata. G4 TV. Which is funny kasi G4 TV is coming back. I don't know in what form, pero G4 TV is coming back. Para sa mga di nakakalam, ang G4 TV ay isang channel na which focuses on nerd and geek and video game stuff. They have shows like X-Play, Attack of the Show. Di ko na maalala, pero I remember seeing X-Play sa TV. X-Play. And it was a show for video games, where they talk about cheat codes, they talk about walkthroughs about video games, and that show was the beast. Like, you know, back then when I was a kid, wala akong alam about scheduled shows, na itong mga shows na to ay meron mga schedule or something. And, you know, whenever I'm channel surfing and when I see X-Play is being aired on the TV, my eyes are going to stick at the TV hanggang sa matapos yung X-Play show na yun. Through X-Play, diyan ko nalaman yung mga bagong games, mga bagong consoles. Diyan ko din na yata nalaman yung PlayStation 2. So, before I had my own PlayStation 2, I used to go to one of those PlayStation hubs sa Riverbanks, yung mall na pinupuntahan ko sa Marikina. I think you need to pay 20 pesos for every 30 minutes of game time. You can choose from their collection of games, either it's GTA San Andreas, the new WWE game, or, you know, yung other games na available pa doon. But whenever I go to that hub, I always play GTA San Andreas. GTA San Andreas was my first GTA game. And the idea of, I mean, look, back then PlayStation 1 days, clearly there are already open world games like The Grinch. The Grinch lang yung naalala ko eh. Pero GTA San Andreas was on a very different level. While it's open world, it's very, very realistic during the time. The idea of walking out in the streets and just carjacking someone's car was amazing to young me. The fact that I can just punch anyone walking on the street, steal their bikes, use a jetpack, use pilot planes, pilot a boat, pilot ba o drive a boat or something, swim sa beach, have guns, have radio stations on your car while driving, and there are also motorcycles. Wow, it's a whole different level. Kaya GTA San Andreas through the PlayStation 2 era, yung generation ng PlayStation 2 was a huge generational leap para sa akin from PlayStation 1. Not only graphics-wise, pero yung gameplay-wise din. Crazy. It's crazy. I remember seeing GTA San Andreas for the first time when I went to Neo 1, this PlayStation Hub area. And I see these kids. The store was filled with kids like me, kids at my age, playing GTA San Andreas. Some of them are playing alone, while others are playing with their friends. Turns out it's a 2-player game din pala. And seeing all of them wreak havoc sa Los Santos, wow. I can't wait to play those games. So eventually, I was able to play GTA San Andreas through Neo 1. And yeah, wow. Grabe lang. I always, itong Neo 1 na to, they have like a booklet or like a brochure na puro cheat sa GTA San Andreas. I remember playing it for the first time. I don't know what I was doing. And then one of these spectators walked right to me and told me, "Hey, gusto mo mag-cheat? Do you want to cheat? Here are some cheat codes." Sabi ko, paano to gawin? So, he taught me how to include the cheat. And then, boom, there was just, I suddenly have weapons. And then a jetpack too. And then, my God, it was one of the best experience ever as a gamer para sa akin. And yeah, again, it's great. After several years, I eventually got my own PlayStation 2. My mother bought the console from her brother, my uncle. And then it comes with 2 games, or I think it's 3 games. The first game is Socom 3. The second game is Fight Night for New York, or no, I think it's not Fight Night. Yeah, apat pala yun. So there's Fight Night Round 2, and then yung isa Def Jam Fight for New York, yung para mga gangster and stuff. And then the other game was Metal Gear Solid 2. Wow. Wow. I thought GTA San Andreas was the best game for the PlayStation 2. Turns out na may papantay pala doon, which was Metal Gear Solid 2. Ngayon, when I got the PlayStation 2, it also came with a memory card. And I remember playing Metal Gear Solid 2. This is actually my first Metal Gear Solid game. Na-skip ko yung pinakaunang Metal Gear Solid game sa PS1. So Metal Gear Solid 2 was like my first stealth game. And man, wow, I don't know where to start. The story was amazing. The story was weird. It's very complicated for a child's brain during the time. While I didn't understood everything, every story beats about the game, I did remember being satisfied after beating Metal Gear Solid 2. And then also graphics wise, when you're doing that tanker level as Solid Snake, crazy, man. It's just crazy. Ang ganda ng ulan effects, like the rain and stuff. The fact that you're alone in this tanker with a bunch of terrorists. You have to hide. You have to adapt. You have to have your cardboard box with you. You have to hide behind the wall and, silip-silip sa hallway. Crazy. Crazy. And the fact that you can just open your codec and call anyone at any time you like. Call Emmerich or something. Wow. And then, ayun nga, dumating yung kay Raiden yata, or Raven or something. Basta Raiden, which replaced Solid Snake after the tanker level. Everything was great. Everything was amazing. Yung kalaban na si Vamp, yung kalaban na yung I forgot the characters, pero ay nako. Right now I'm just nerding out about the game. Di ako makapagsalita about the game itself. I'm just puro, wow, it's amazing. Wow, it's very nostalgic. Everything looks great. The graphics is amazing. The physics looks amazing. The interactivity with the watermelons, with the flour bags, it's amazing. Everything is amazing. And yeah, lately ko lang nalaman to na people were actually angry about the Raiden situation. Kasi it was like false advertising. They were expecting to play the entire game as Solid Snake, pero it turns out na there was a fake out where 10% was Solid Snake, 90% was Raiden, the character. But back then, walang idea. I didn't know about Metal Gear Solid, but I did remember that Metal Gear Solid 2 being one of the greatest games out there, along with GTA San Andreas. And I want to point out this level kung saan si Raiden ay nakaubad. And then si Colonel yata, through your codec, was talking to you, but then his video sa codec is changing. Lumalabas yung parang bungo niya or something, and then everything is getting weird. Meron siya mga phrases na he was self-aware. That was actually my first experience with the fourth wall breaking thing. For other Metal Gear Solid fans, it was Metal Gear Solid 1 when Psycho Mantis was able to read your memory card and was able to move the controller, right? For me, it was through Colonel Campbell yata, when he was just self-aware na this is a video game, shut down your PlayStation 2 system, yung mga ganun niya. It actually got me scared when I was a kid. And oh man, I remember na in the middle of that mission, I just decided to unplug the PlayStation 2 console and went to my bed because I was so fucking scared. Sorry for the word na nabigla lang ako, pero yeah, ito talaga tagos talaga to. Tagos sa akin. Akala ko my PlayStation 2 console was haunted or something. But then the day after I got back, I was able to finish that game. I met up with Solid Snake, and then he also did the unlimited ammo reference using, with his bandana or something. And yeah, yung last boss fight with Solid Snake with your sword, oh lord, it was a great change of pace. After sneaking around, after using guns, you now have a katana during the elevator mission, and then the Solidus Snake final battle. So yeah, I was able to beat it. But then, I bought many other video games. Like, I bought GTA San Andreas so that I will be able to play San Andreas at my home. I also bought other NBA games. I also bought Tony Hawk's American Wasteland and maybe Tony Hawk's Project 8 or something. Pero American Wasteland is one of my favorite na Tony Hawk games out there. I actually had a crush with the leading girl doon, nakasama mo sa Hollywood, sa first level. I wasn't able to beat GTA San Andreas though. I wasn't able to beat it because of those RC missions. But then I also bought other GTA games like GTA Vice City and Vice City Stories. And then I bought Metal Gear Solid 3 Snake Eater. And holy, that game is amazing too. It's crazy. Like, wow. You know what's great about video games, especially when you only played a few of them, is that it's easier to appreciate the art of video games. Kasi nga konti pa lang nalalaro mo. Kaya within that PlayStation 2 era, one of the biggest gaming moments ko ay nangyari during the PS2 era nga, where I played Metal Gear Solid 2, 3, and GTA San Andreas. Metal Gear Solid 3 was amazing for its own atmosphere, for its own story. The fact that, while I love the Metal Gear Solid 2 story, Metal Gear Solid 3 taught me the art of storytelling through video games. The possibilities of emotions na pwede mo makuha by playing a video game. And Metal Gear Solid 3 was able to do that to young me. And wow. It was like the full package, right? You got amazing graphics, you got amazing gameplay, you got the jungle in the middle of Russia, you got amazing, nasabi ko na may characters, amazing codec, dialogues. I actually listened to the dialogue sa codec ng Metal Gear Solid 3. Kasi sa 2, I skipped some of them, pero 3, I listened to all of them because I fell in love with the characters. Si Paramedic, yung isang character na gun expert, na yung si Zero, if I remember correctly, his name was Zero. Si Big Boss. No, it's just the boss. And then the enemies were the highlights too. Ocelot being one of them. And then we have the fear, the sorrow, the monkey, yung matanda. Di ko nalimutan ang pangalan niya. And then the boss. The pain. Wow. Ocelot was game-changing to me because I can't remember through media na merong kalaban na naging bida, right? Kasi Metal Gear Solid 2, there was Ocelot in Metal Gear Solid 2, pero I didn't know that it was the same Ocelot na nasa Metal Gear Solid 3. I only found out about it during my PlayStation 3 days when I was playing Metal Gear Solid 4. So it was a huge reveal when I found out na si Ocelot pala yung matanda na yung sa Metal Gear Solid 2. And yeah, sorry guys kapag nagkakamali ako sa mga kinukwento ko, either nalimutan ko yung parts about dun sa kasi usually makalimutan ako, pero yeah, ito yung mga naalala ko so far, so hopefully lahat to ay accurate. And yeah, Ocelot was amazing because, you know, you have to fight him like several times. Sa Metal Gear Solid 3, if I remember correctly, you also see him being like, you know, he is being treated like a recruit through the eyes of Volgin and other people. And then the fact that he joined you during the climax of the story, wow, just wow. One mission that I will never forget is the Sorrow mission. The Sorrow yata yung may multo, yung parang multo yung kalaban mo. Kung tama ako, siya yata yung asawa ni the boss, I don't know. Pero yeah, you have to walk through this like small river or something na mababaw lang, and you have to walk it slowly. In order to win the game, you have to like activate your ngipin device or something to wake up, kasi that you're like dreaming or something. And then it was only when I was watching a walkthrough of that gameplay after I beat the game na pwede ka palang lumangoy doon. Ay nako, Kojima, you and your brains. And then yeah, every boss battle was different. You know, the fear, yung parang the fear. Sinabi ko bang the monkey siya? Pero yeah, I think that was the fear. You have to use your thermal goggles to look for him. Yung matanda naman si The End. The End pala siya. Sniper siya. Then you have to hide. You have to camouflage. Or you just have to change the date of your PlayStation 2 or something para mamatay siya once you load the level. But where's the fun of that? And then you have the Sorrow. The Sorrow yata yung may apoy. O yung may mabubuyog where you have to jump to the water to avoid the hornets. Hindi pala bubuyog, hornets pala. And yeah, and the boss's battle was very good then. It's crazy, especially that when you had to make a choice. No, well, not actually the choice, but you have to pull the trigger to kill her, to end her life. It was a very different experience that I haven't experienced in any forms of media before. That's why I fell in love with video games, because they just have something that movies and books cannot provide. There's the interactivity and the soul virtual interaction with the characters in game. And then the ending played sa Metal Gear Solid 3. Him, Naked Snake and Eva having their last night. Naked Snake being promoted as the boss. Like Metal Gear Solid 2, I didn't understand every story beats of the game. And I still have to do my own research many, many years after para lang to fully understand the entire story. But still, I was very satisfied with Metal Gear Solid 3. Amazing game. Just an amazing game. So many years later, I eventually got a PlayStation 3. Okay? The PlayStation 3 thing is different. That situation is different because me and my brother actually bought the PlayStation 3 using our own money na naipon namin sa baon namin galing kay Papa. And yeah, the reason why we bought PS3 is because of this story. There was a time back then when NBA was NBA in basketball was going to have a game in the Philippines. So my brother saved the money for that to buy a ticket because he wanted to see an NBA game in person. Kasi minsan lang sila pumunta Pilipinas, so wag mo na iwan yung opportunity na yon. But him and dad went to Araneta Coliseum, and then the tickets were sold out. Through my brother's anger, he bought a copy of GTA 5, the disc, for the PlayStation 3. The only problem is we don't have a PlayStation 3. So, instead of wasting that copy of GTA 5, we have to save money for the PlayStation 3. It only took us like 2 months or maybe a month to get our own PlayStation 3. And I think the PlayStation 3 era was like while it was also great for me, it was also like one of the lowest points of gaming para sa akin. Because during this time, I was also playing games on my PC. Okay? So before we move to PC, let's move to PS3 muna. So we got the PS3. We bought it from, I don't know, maybe Neo 1 yata. Neo 1 din. And then we got the kung hindi Neo 1, I think we bought it from Data Blitz. Yeah. So we played the game. GTA 5, palit-palit kami ng kapatid ko. And yeah, it's just very fun. I really had a fun time playing GTA 5. It's just great. There's nothing else that I can say. And, oh wait a sec. May nalagpasan ba ako? Oh yeah, yun nga, GTA 5. I played GTA 5 the hell out of it. I actually skipped GTA 4 because one, the GTA 4 copies are sold out everywhere. Wala akong maharap na kopya. And I just got focused on GTA 5 itself. And GTA 5 was fun, yung nga. And then I also bought some other games for the PS3. I bought I also bought Metal Gear Solid Ground Zeroes. No, hindi mo na yun. I bought the Metal Gear Solid collection, which included a digital copy of 1 na hindi ko talaga actually nakuha. I was trying to unlock the copy but it's not working. Kasi I think the copy that I had was already used. So I wasn't able to play Metal Gear Solid 1 through the PS3. I did play Metal Gear Solid 2, 3, and Peace Walker, and 4. So I bought that thing because of Metal Gear Solid 4. And yeah, 4 was great too. Not groundbreaking, but it was also amazing. Because it's like a nostalgia trip throughout the entire game. But it's mostly cutscenes, which is something that I'm fine with it. I'm very fine with it. Kahit madaming cutscenes. It's just that it always breaks the flow of the gameplay. But it's a fun game. Having Solid Snake as an old person because of his, kasi clone siya. And then still having Ocelot around while being infected or something by the arm of sino yung isa? We have Solid Snake, we have Solid Snake, and then we have Liquid Snake, from Metal Gear Solid 1. So yeah, Metal Gear Solid 4 was fun too. It's just a fun throwback for all the Metal Gear Solid fans. And I was able to beat Metal Gear Solid 4 without playing Metal Gear Solid 1 at all. So that's kind of sad. Kasi wala lang talagang access sa Metal Gear Solid 1 eh. Kasi my PlayStation 1 was already missing due to bagong Ondo yata noong September 29. So there's that. Pero the final mission, when you have to beat Liquid Ocelot pala name niya, Liquid Ocelot sa Outer Heaven, right? Yung music nagbabago lagi through the different levels of the boss fight. Yung life gauge nagbabago din, nag-evolve din. And yeah, I eventually swapped the Metal Gear Solid collection with a friend of mine, with the boyfriend of my friend, with a copy of the Nathan Drake trilogy. I played 1, the first game. It's fun, but I got tired of it because I kept on dying on this level after the part na bumaba ka sa eroplano kasi nabunggo yung eroplano mo sa puno. Yeah, I skipped. I didn't beat the game because of the difficulty, even though it's already on the easiest. So ginawa ko, pinanood ko na lang yung walkthrough sa YouTube, and then after that I played Nathan Drake Uncharted 2 and then Uncharted 3. And yeah, they're really fun. Nothing groundbreaking, just like the thing that I just said about the PlayStation 3 era. Nothing groundbreaking about it para sa akin. The graphics are amazing, the physics are there, pero nothing groundbreaking. Because my heart and my soul was already in computers. Okay, I was already a computer gamer, a PC gamer during the PlayStation 3 era days. And then yeah, I got the Rockstar Games collection from Neo 1. Puro na tayo Neo 1. From Data Blitz sa SM Mall of Asia, which nilibre kami ng girlfriend dati ng uncle ko na hapon. And yeah, nilibre kami noon, and nilibre din kami ng controller na isa. So we now have 2 DualShock 3. And yeah, it's just Rockstar Games collection. Doon ko na nalaro yung the GTA 4 era games. And then nalaro ko din yung Red Dead Redemption 1. Which is kind of sad because I only played Red Dead Redemption 1, the game, just for the fun of it. Hindi ako masyadong nakapag-focus sa story. So, it kind of sucks. It really sucks na I wish na I was able to replay the game without the knowledge of the story and all. Kasi alam na natin yung ending nun, without spoiling it. So, it kind of sucks. Kasi I played Red Dead Redemption 2 last year yata or 2 years ago, and that story was great. The story was great. Moving on from the PlayStation 3 days, balik muna tayo sa a few years back during the time na I still have my PlayStation 2. Between my PlayStation 2 era and PlayStation 3 era, I decided to not actually decided, but my mother decided to, I got several computers from my aunts and uncle. My mother bought my uncle's computer for school. So, I played a lot of games through that. That's also when I got my own copy of GTA San Andreas. So this is funny. After I bought GTA San Andreas for the PS2, I also got a copy of GTA San Andreas for the PC. And oh man, it's one thing to play GTA San Andreas on the PS2, and it's another thing to play GTA San Andreas for the PS and for the PC. Kasi one, it's very open. It's very open. Nalaman ko yung concept of mods. And yeah, it's just wow. The fact that you can be Ghost Rider, the fact that you can be Superman, you can make your own missions, you can enhance the graphics, you can have ragdoll effects whenever you die, have GTA 4 like HUD, and the ENB series sa GTA San Andreas. It was game changing to me. That's how I became like more knowledgeable about computers. Kasi back then I'm already the techie person sa bahay. I fixed my PlayStation 2, I fixed my PlayStation 1, I fixed other stuff. But then, fixing and doing troubleshooting via software, it's a different level naman. So I learned a lot from GTA San Andreas. I learned how to download. I learned how to modify game files. I learned about computers, program files, downloading softwares or tools to modify the game. I learned about Photoshop because of GTA San Andreas. I became a YouTuber because of GTA San Andreas. And yeah, it's just crazy stuff. Actually, my YouTuber days during the 2009s, early 2010s started with doing Grand Theft Auto San Andreas Myths and Legends, where I have to hunt for supernatural stuff happening in the game. So back then, I used to make videos of Bigfoots, videos of ghost cars, masasakyan na walang mga drivers. I used to make videos of the serial killer, of UFOs and aliens. And yeah, I was very active back then. Parang every month meron akong bagong GTA San Andreas video, and it's all about myths and legends. And it got several thousands of views actually. It was pretty successful for my very young self and young YouTube channel. And through that, there was this agency who emailed me and gave me money to just advertise one of their songs for dito nga through my YouTube channel. And then one mod that came to mind to me was MTA, which is multi-theft auto. So I remember, back then, internet is you need to use like a prepaid card sa internet. It's called ISP Bonanza, and you have to call or something to connect to the internet. And then by the time that we got our own broadband, like unlimited internet, the first thing that I played, my very, very, very first online game, was multi-theft auto. It's basically GTA San Andreas modded to be able to play with other players online. I remember joining a server, and it brought me to San Francisco, San Fierro Airport. So it spawned me there, and then I just saw the view, from what I was seeing on the screen. I just saw cars going around the airport, airplanes, a helicopter. It's crazy to see other people playing the game with you online at the same time. Local co-op local multiplayer is great, but playing it online was a different kind of level. It was mind-boggling. So eventually I also got a copy of San Andreas multiplayer SAMP, which is also a different mod. And yeah, I was also able to play many other games on my PC. And around this time, I think I was already using a laptop from America, from my aunt from America. Sorry about that. And I was able to play my first Hitman games. I was able to play Half-Life. Wow, Half-Life game. Half-Life is basically my most favorite video game of all time. And if I'm going to talk about it here at the podcast, it's going to spend me another hour just talking about Half-Life. We're already 1 hour in the podcast anyways, and if you guys are still listening, thank you. This is just a huge topic. Video games is just a huge topic for me. And right now, it's really hot in my area. I cannot open my electric fan because mainit. Maingayan kayo. So, right now, I'm just trying to fan myself with my hands. So yeah, Half-Life is just a huge game. I played Half-Life 1 on computer shops before, but I was too scared because of the name, Half-Life. Is this a horror game or something? Because back then, I used to avoid horror games. But yeah, Half-Life 1, I was able to beat it. It was very fun. Story's amazing, G-Man and stuff. And then Half-Life 2 came. It's also really fun. And that thing came with mods like Gmod, Smod. And then the era of free-to-play games came in. Team Fortress 2 became free, and I spent a ton of hours playing that game. And then, Left 4 Dead came in. Portal came in. And yeah, PC gaming was really amazing to me. It's just great because there's just so many more potential of playing games when you're playing it on a PC. So during that time, through I also found out about Assassin's Creed and many other games, Splinter Cell, and even Red Alert. Because I remember Red Alert 2, Euro's Revenge being one of my first RTS games for the PC along with StarCraft. But let's move to the PlayStation 4 era. Sorry about guys, I really have to open my fan now because it's really getting hot in here. Sorry about the noise. Okay, so much better. So yeah, where am I? So yeah, let's move to the PlayStation 4 era. So when we left for the United States, I also left my computer. I sold my computer to my friend in college. And now, when I moved to the US, I decided to build my own PC, which was great. I was able to play like the current generation of games during that time. I was able to play Assassin's Creed Unity, which was amazing to me. I was able to play many other games. Actually, I wasn't planning to buy a PlayStation 4, but when Sony announced that they're going to release Marvel Spider-Man for the PS4, that's when I bought the PlayStation 4 in preparation for the Spider-Man PS4 release. So I bought the game from GameStop. PlayStation 4, it's golden, 1 terabyte, and I think the first game I played there was Uncharted 4. And dang, it's wow. Uncharted 4 was crazy, man. Ang ganda ng storya, ang ganda ng graphics. It's really, really lifelike. Naughty Dogs did a well done job with that game. Story-wise, character-wise, in all of the video games that I played, Uncharted 4 was the most movie-like video game for me. And I was also able to play God of War, which is actually my first God of War game. I skipped God of War 1, 2, 3 because I was not actually a fan of Greek mythology back then. It was only recently when I got interested in Greek mythology. And my hack and slash kind of game back then for the PS2 was the Ghost Rider game. So anyways, God of War 3, I bought it because I heard so many good stuff about the story. And yeah, it did satisfy me to a very different level. I just like the idea of old protagonists being old, being rough. They've seen better days. And you know, the movie Logan, about the old Wolverine, was one of the reasons why I bought God of War. Because at the same time, it also reminded me of Metal Gear Solid 4. I just like playing video games where you play as the old and wise person. And then, you know, Spider-Man came in. I decided to call off for a week just to beat the game. And yeah, it was satisfying. I remember the times of playing Spider-Man games for the PS1 and PS2. Yeah, this topic is just too broad. It's just so big that I also forgot about the other games that I played during the PS2 and PS3 days. Like, you know, PlayStation, like Ultimate Spider-Man for the PS2, and then Spider-Man 3, the movie, the video game. So yeah, I played a ton of Spider-Man games before. But, you know, for the PS4, one of the highlights of the PS4 era was Spider-Man PS4. The story was amazing. It was a fresh new take of the Spider-Man media, of the character. And playing Spider-Man and web swinging through buildings and buildings with this high definition of graphics is just it's just an amazing experience. Really, it's just an amazing experience. And you know, a few months later, I bought Red Dead Redemption 2, which was also amazing. The graphics are amazing, the story is amazing, and it's just really fun to be a cowboy. I actually like Red Dead Redemption 2 more than Red Dead Redemption 1 because at least for 2 I focused on the story while playing, and I tried to make Arthur the best person that he can be, even though you can be an asshole in the game if you want to be. And then in between, right now, I think after Red Dead, I decided to buy my first VR experience using my PC, because my PC can now run VR games. So my first VR console or headset is the Oculus Rift S, which is still my main VR headset right now. I'm still playing VR games through this thing, and it's just crazy because the game experience that the PS2 generation gave me was maybe at the same level of experience, of greatness that I had with VR gaming. Because the first game that I played using VR is actually like this demo tutorial from Oculus Rift. It's just crazy that you can move your whole body and play the game without having to, have your controller or mouse and keyboard or something. And this was after I was trying to emulate VR using my phone and many other tools that you have to connect to your computer. Those madaming hacks akong ginawa para lang ma-achieve ko yung budget, yung VR gaming in a budget. Pero eventually I decided to buy my own virtual headset. Eventually, I got bored of it. I got tired of it. Napagod ako kasi it's just really nakapagod lang talaga playing VR. So I stopped. And then several months later, Boneworks, the VR game, got released, and my love for VR gaming came back, because that was like the first full-fledged AAA VR game na nalaro ko, where everything was interactable, everything was physics based. It is like the Half-Life 2 of VR gaming, at least for me. And around December yata, they also announced Half-Life Alyx, which is actually the first time I heard about it, I shouted so loud. I went to my brother, telling him the good news even though he doesn't care about it, because I've been waiting for another Half-Life game for like 12 years now or 15 years now. That's why we have the Half-Life 3 confirmed memes, right? Because we thought Half-Life is dead, but then Half-Life Alyx came in. So I did play Half-Life Alyx on March. This was around the pandemic now. And crazy. Half-Life Alyx is like the most immersive video game out there, beating Boneworks. If someone is going to play a VR game for the first time, I'm going to let them play Half-Life Alyx, because not only it's fun for like VR experts like me, which because VR gaming can pwede kang mahilo kapag naglaro ka ng VR, pwede kang pagpawisan na madami, pero nasanay na yung katawan ko, nag-adapt na ako. I can call myself like a VR, not expert, pero yung sanay na sa VR. So if someone is new to VR gaming, I'm going to introduce them to VR using Half-Life Alyx. And everything about Half-Life Alyx was great. The story of the G-Man, of Alyx Vance, something like that. Even though it's a prequel to Half-Life 2. So I think that's about it. I already talked about a ton of stuff. I got also other consoles back then. Right now I have the Nintendo Switch. Back then I have the Nintendo Game Boy Color. I also had a video game console, which is actually a DVD console, and you have to put a disc inside just to play games from the 90s or the 80s, like the 2D games like Contra and many other 2D games, the stuff. And what's next for gaming for me in general? Well, the RTX 3080 was announced, which is the new video card series that is about to get released on the 17th of this month. I'm planning to buy it to upgrade my build, because right now I have a 1440p monitor with 144 Hz, and I need to reach like the max playable level on this monitor thing. So I need a 3080. I'm going to sell my old GT 1080 video card that I've been rocking for like 3 years now, And yeah, this is actually my first time. Okay, this is another highlight. This week is going to be another highlight for me in gaming because this is my first time maybe falling in line or buying a product on day one that is related to gaming. I'm not sure if I'm going to get a PlayStation 5, but I might in the future because, you know, I will always get a PlayStation just for the Spider-Man games. So, as you guys know, Spider-Man Miles Morales is coming to the PS5, and I need to play that game because I'm a huge Miles Morales fan. And it's like the continuation to the Spider-Man PS4 game. Right now, the things that I'm excited for gaming for this year is it's Spider-Man Miles Morales, Assassin's Creed Valhalla, maybe Watch Dogs Legion. I already pre-ordered Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War because I'm a huge Call of Duty fan. I forgot to tell you guys that Call of Duty 3 was my first-person shooter game that I fell in love with. And I played that thing with the PlayStation 2. And yeah, right now, my most anticipated game is Cyberpunk 2077. And I can't wait for... Is it November or December? Hindi ako mapaghintay para malaro tong larong to. I've been waiting for this for like several years now. And I'm a huge Blade Runner and Plastic Memories geek. Anything that is cyberpunk related is something that I adore. Because I like the idea of enhancing your body with cyber stuff, you know. So yeah, that's about it, guys. Thanks for listening. Wow, I've been talking for an hour and 17 minutes now. And I need to I need to sleep and do some other important stuff. But anyways, yeah, thanks for listening, guys. If you guys kung nakaabot kayo dito sa part ng podcast na ito. I just wanted to let you guys know that I have an Instagram. It's you can follow me there at Jasper Abibas. You can also follow me at Twitter at Gigahertz, and you can also follow me at YouTube. Just look for my name. Search for my name, na Jasper Dominic Abibas, or Gigahertz. Pero I prefer looking for Jasper Dominic Abibas. I actually upload video game stuff right there, and I'm actually going to upload my video version of this podcast. And if you're listening from YouTube right now, you can follow me on my podcast accounts. You can actually look for my podcast Kwentuhan About Life in Spotify, Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, but my I prefer you guys following me on anchor.fm/kwentuhan. Okay, that's anchor.fm/kwentuhan, so that diretso kayo sa lahat ng mga available na episodes ko from this podcast. Again, thanks for listening. Kung meron kayong comments, kung meron kayong topic for the next episode, just, leave me a message through the platforms that I just gave you. Again, guys, take care. Mag-ingat-ingat kayo during this pandemic. Wear your mask. And yeah, God bless.